Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bedomy and this is Starcraft Mass Recall, a remake of the original Starcraft and its subsequent expansions into Starcraft 2 Level Editor. And welcome back to another exciting episode of The Big Push. A mission where we attack the Confederate space station above the capital world of Tarsonis. In the beginning, we had to struggle with defending the base and protecting the NORAD, but now we can go on the offensive and nuke the Black Base out of existence. It took a while to prepare everything for this episode, but I believe the payoff will be good for everyone. As you can see, we spent a fortune on building defenses. The remains of our resources were spent on repairs and army creation. And then we had to sneak our forces behind enemy lines in order to build up a base in the northwest area of the map.
Your forces are under attack.
With the expansion set up and defenses built, we can commence our attack on the Black Base. And we will be nuking them as much as possible, whenever possible, whenever possible. We will turn this whole base into one big nuke town, without blowing up our own forces in the meantime. The Ghost set the coordinates already, the nuke is in the air, and the Ghost just has to get out of here before he gets blown up. I understand this is a trade-off mechanic for using a powerful weapon, but isn't the fact that the enemy is notified of his activities already a balancing act of his own? Think about it. In order to launch the nuke, the Ghost has to enter the area, stay put for a couple of seconds, and the enemy is notified, which gives them enough time to locate the Ghost, neutralize him, as well as the nuclear missile he's trying to launch. I'm not kidding. If the operative that initiated the launch is killed during the launching procedure, both the operative and the missile are gone, and you're forced to spend a lot in order to rebuild the missile and train another operative. So as you can see, launching a nuke is a very big risk. But even if you use the ability successfully, you're still punished. Why? Why are we punished for doing something successful? Is it to prevent us from overusing the said ability? Perhaps. But considering you're limited to one missile per missile silo, and the fact that the missiles cost 200 minerals and gas, I find it hard to believe that's the case. There has to be something else to this. But what?
Nuclear missile ready.
Give me a minute, I have to research the ghosts and nukes. Alright, I'm back, and I discovered that the Ghost's casting ability is equal to its line of sight, which is 11 units, while the nuclear missile's blast radius is 12. And considering the fact that the missile does 300 damage to units and 500 damage to buildings regardless of armor and upgrades, this is a very fair trade-off. Not to mention that you have a brief time period to remove all troops out of the area before the nuclear missile strikes. So I have to admit this is a very fair balancing mechanic. Your opponent is given enough time to prevent the activation of the ability, and enough time to salvage the situation if he fails. And we should focus on reinforcing this pathway before it gets destroyed. If we lose our defenses here, we can metaphorically kiss our expansion goodbye. Never mind, we have another nuke ready and we can destroy the Black Base immediately. Well, not immediately, but we can destroy their production facilities. And when they cannot produce anything, we can waltz in with a small strike... Well, not a small strike force, but we can waltz in with a strike force and obliterate them.
Commander.
Now let's nuke away! Where's my Ghost? Looks like he was discovered and killed. Great. That's 200 minerals and gas out the window. Good thing I have a spare Ghost in the dropship. At least I don't have to spend extra in order to train additional Ghosts. For now, we'll just rely on the infantry and tanks to do as much damage as possible. Yes! With their command center gone, they cannot produce SCVs. Their productions and repair capabilities are nullified. Now we just have to destroy the remaining barracks and production facilities and we can nuke the defenses.
Go, go, go.
While we wait for that to happen, let's build up our anti-air defenses near the Orange Base.
Identify target.
And lose our forces in the Black Base. Oh well.
Orders received.
At the very least, they did some damage to the enemy production.
I can't build here.
The tanks are still alive so they can warn us if the enemy is coming and prevent any attempts to rebuild something.
Nuclear missile ready.
But they are very expensive to build and they can easily be destroyed by big numbers. So we should pull them back and prepare another strike force. In the meantime, we'll use the NORAD to scout the Black Base and do some damage to their front defense. Oh, never mind. We will pull them back and prepare for the oncoming assault. We will drop the Ghost and send him in to do some damage. And the SCV building the turrets will be stuck in a few seconds, isn't he? Even though there's a gap between the turrets big enough for him to pass.
Hang on, we're in for some job.
I can't build there.
See? He is stuck. That's because his collision box is colliding with the collision box of the turret.
Input coordinates.
We will discuss how this works momentarily, but first we have to discuss the future of Let's Plays on this channel and some other changes that will be implemented soon.
They're all over me.
So stay a while and listen. And watch. It's good.
Transmit coordinates.
Alright, bad Deckard Cain impersonations aside, we will nuke the area first, and then we'll discuss the future.
Right away, sir.
So let's find Waldo and send him in.
Ghost report.
If you wish to skip this portion of the video and simply go to the discussion about collision detection, please go to the timecode presented.
Gone. I'm all over it.
And break poor Waldo's heart like that tank did just now. Just kidding. Waldo was broken even before he became a ghost. Seriously! The guy never changes his clothes! To be fair, I didn't read every single book in the series, but from the publications I did read, I noticed that Waldo is wearing the same clothes with a few accessories depending on the book. Makes you think after a while, doesn't it? In any case, we're getting sidetracked, so let's get back to the topic at hand. And namely, the future of Let's Plays on this channel. As you are already aware, I prefer to record my gameplay and commentary separately, which is a rather lengthy process. A process made even longer thanks to my computer's tendency to find fatal errors every 5 minutes. I'm not even kidding. I had to redo this mission 10 times in order to get to this point. And not because I failed the mission, but because Windows discovered a problem and had to restart the whole system, which corrupted the save files for the game, so I had to redo the whole mission. And when I finally recorded this episode, Blizzard released an update for Starcraft 2, which, you guessed it, corrupted the save file. Saddened but not discouraged, I restarted the mission. I made 5 separate save files and got to the beginning of the next episode, only to see the game crash and corrupt the save files. Again. So as you can see, it takes a while for me to produce Let's Play episodes, so I intend to counter this problem by making Let's Play videos without commentary. To be more specific, I will concentrate on role-playing and adventure games which are heavier on the dialogue. I will voice act my character's voice lines if he doesn't have a voice actor of his own, but for the majority of the game I will remain silent.
Insufficient.
If you're following my channel because of the comic fan dubs, don't worry. I will continue making them, but I need to find the comics I can dub on my own. I would love to continue with Foxy flavored cookies, but that's a group project, which is hard to coordinate considering the fact that the voice cast is comprised of online voice actors. But it's probably my fault entirely. Up until now, I only worked alone, so I had no experience in leading people or how to work on bigger projects. I probably pushed people too far and they decided to quit. That and they had other things to do in life. The voice acting was primarily their hobby. In any case, I am sorry if I made you guys uncomfortable and pushed you too far. I hope you guys get everything you want in life, and I hope I didn't make voice acting a horrible experience for you. Alright, we covered that topic, now what's left? Oh yes, the Let's Plays with commentary. I am not cancelling work on those, but they will be delayed due to production difficulties. And if you're curious, the games that will feature commentary will be shooters and strategy games because they don't have too much dialogue in them, which will give me enough time to explain my thought process and probably give you a few ideas for your own strategies. And I think that sums everything up. You will hear my commentary over shooters and strategies, and possibly hear me voice act in role-playing games and comics. Anything else will be more or less commentary-free. Now let's talk about collision boxes, the invisible boundaries that prevent characters and objects from passing through each other. As you're probably aware, every character and object model in the game is composed of polygons, and these combinations of polygons can get very complicated depending on the model. Now let's take 2 models and put them on one specific location. And now we have a problem. We cannot discern which model is which. In the real world, this won't be possible because we have density and resistance that prevents bodies from passing through each other. But it is possible in virtual reality if you don't write the laws of physics as mathematical equations. And even then, you have to specify what will be affected by the said equations. So far, it seems simple, doesn't it? Simply declare that every single polygon is affected by the equation. It might seem like a good idea on paper, but in practice, it's a very, very bad idea. A computer cannot simply observe and tell you the solution. It has to calculate and check the variables presented to it in a very specific order. It will have to check the coordinates of the models, their polygons, and pieces of those polygons to see which polygons are colliding, which is a rather lengthy process. So in order to shorten this process, the developers created collision boxes. They took simple polygonal shapes such as boxes, spheres, and cones, and placed the models inside them. And then declared that these collision boxes will be affected by the equations of collision. I really gotta think of a better phrase for that. In any case, the boxes are designed bigger than the models themselves in order to accommodate for animations and serve as triggers for specific actions if two specific boxes come into contact. For example, your character comes close to the door and the door opens, or you get a prompt that asks you if you wish to open it. And if you know the correct size of the collision boxes, you can use them effectively as cover. But collision boxes are not perfect. Due to their sizes, you have to be mindful of your characters and their surroundings. While the character model might fit for an area, his collision box might collide with a collision box of another model or a collision box of an obstacle, which will prevent him from passing. This can lead to a lot of frustration if you're playing solo, and also a lot of interesting moments if you're playing multiplayer, especially if you're the sort of player that enjoys to play mind games with their opponent. For example, you can build barracks in front of a choke point and hide your tanks behind them. When the enemy comes in to attack you, they will have to get through the barracks, which will leave them exposed to tank fire. But that's just one of the possibilities. Try experimenting with your building positioning in your future games, and let me know what you discovered in the comments, and I will try to read and implement your strategies in the future videos. Until then, I will finish off the remnants of the Black Base, and see you on the next episode. Thank you very much for watching, my name has been Bedomy, and good night.